All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Jim of All Trades channel. Glad you made it by. My name's Jim. I'm a crypto trader and a Forex trader. Here to help you understand the market from an Elliott wave perspective. Today, guys, is Traditional Tuesday. We're going to jump into the charts today and look at the traditional markets, guys. Look at the traditional markets. So without any further ado, don't want to give you any financial advice here, guys. Just going to show you how I'm looking at the charts, maybe give you some insight into what we're looking at in the overall grand scheme of things. Now, I just do want to let you know that I'll be bringing videos every day this week. Tomorrow will be Wisdom Wednesday, followed by Theory Thursday and Forex Friday. So content every day, overall trading content that's going to be brought to you every week. So if you didn't get to check out yesterday's video, definitely check out yesterday's Market Maker video, Market Maker Monday, understanding the tactics of the market makers and just analyzing what they do and how they take your money. All right, well, so today we're going to look at the traditional markets, guys. We're going to look at S&P and the NASDAQ. We'll look at gold as well as Tesla and an Nvidia by request. So we got a lot of charts to jump through. So let's get started here. I've got the Nvidia chart on the screen, guys. And the first thing I noticed on the weekly chart here is that we are parabolic, okay? One thing you have to know when you get parabolic in a market, that what goes up very, very fast generally comes down equally as fast, and you can see that in play here in this other peak right here. As this went up fairly parabolic here, we came straight back down and corrected deeply. So one of the things you have to realize, and I know a lot of you moon boys have a hard time thinking about markets not going down, but markets can't go up like this, and in particular markets can't go like this in particular very long before you get a strong pullback to react to that. Nvidia has been is way overbought. Its price movement is impulsive and it's fine, but it can't be sustained. Impulses like you see on the screen are followed by sustained longer-term corrections that take time in the market. While this price movement from October of 2022 is now coming to a head here in February of 2024, look for a move back down that's going to take back most of this move, okay? We are in the take profit area on the chart. You should really be thinking about taking profit in Nvidia if you haven't done it already. If your mindset is, oh, this thing's going to keep going up and up and up, greed is going to end up killing you, and before you know it, there's going to be a day that takes 20% of your gains back, and then you're going to be deer in the headlights. So, in my opinion, looking at the chart, this is what we see. This is the type of action we see right before a large correction. Now, there may be one little wave to go, something like a little correction here, and then one more high. And that last high is going to be the FOMO wave if you get it. You're not guaranteed to get it, but if you get it, it's what we call the FOMO wave. It's the wave that everybody, people can't help themselves and they buy into it, thinking price is never going to come down, and then all of a sudden it gets sold into, coming down very quickly. A couple of the things that I see on the chart just of note is the divergence being developed here between a proposed top of wave 3 to a wave 5, and the wave 5 looks extended, so that fifth wave looks fairly extended, but nevertheless that looks like a 5-wave move. Here's how we count it: 1, 2, this would be 3, that would be 4, this is the middle of 5. So that's the way it looks for now. 5-wave move is about finished, and I would expect a larger correction along the lines of something like this. Okay, so looking for some kind of a pullback that's going to come back and find some support maybe at the top of this wave here before it gets a bounce. Okay, that's the kind of wave I'm looking at. Now we'll keep an eye on this as it develops. And if it develops into a more local 3-wave move like that, that's more local, that doesn't come down quickly and take back a lot of ground in a short amount of time, then we might consider another move to the upside later on. But right now, we're looking for a correction, minimum something like this, where we get a three-wave correction. So this is a profit-taking area, and there might be a buyback zone coming down the road. No guarantees on that. All right, so there's Nvidia, guys. That's the way it's looking to me. It may not be 100% done, but guys, you can't try to nail tops and bottoms too much without getting hurt. You're gonna have to have a sober mindset when it comes to taking your profits, and we are in an area and in a time where profit taking should be considered, especially at the top of a wave like this. Okay. All right, let's see. Let's look in on the S&P and see what the S&P. Actually, let's look at the NASDAQ first, since Nvidia is on the NASDAQ. What I notice about the NASDAQ chart is that we've got a 5-wave shape here from the bottom. Here we've got a 1 and a 2, we've got a 3 and a 4 and a 5. And you'll notice in this 5th wave, if you zoom in on the 5th wave, you'll notice that there is a 5-wave shape there as well. So you kind of starting to see a 1 and a 2. 3, 4, and 5. And if you zoom in on this 5th wave right there, maybe the 2-hour chart, you'll notice that there's kind of a 5-wave shape developing there if it's not finished already. In other words, everything is it's got the look of a potential completeness, okay? And so we're finding, we did break the top. We are at all-time highs right now in the NASDAQ, but really economically, these kinds of moves generally aren't sustained or aren't sustainable. There needs to be a substantial correction to the market where profit taking has taken place and reaccumulation develops. If I had to guess, the next move in the market is something like this, okay, where we get what percentage? Something a 60% retrace back down to support, price support right in here. That is very plausible and very possible. That kind of a move and that kind of a sell-off could be followed by another push to the high, all-time highs, and then all of a sudden you've got a larger potential 5-wave shape on the screen. Okay, so that's a potential play, but we're looking for a pullback, much like Bitcoin did. And most markets. So I think we're in for a bit of a dive that's going to come back, find its support somewhere around this area, and I think that's coming. And I think the Nvidia chart is pointing to that as well. The Tesla chart, if we look at Tesla for a moment, Tesla is yelling and screaming at you. It's corrective. You see this 3-wave move. The 3 waves is to the upside. That's letting you know that at minimum you're going to get it's letting you know that there's more than likely going to be a lower low made eventually. Now, how that is made, it's hard to say. We've got 3 waves to the upside. We've got this weird looking little wave here. That could be a 1-2, 1-2 to the downside. It also could be some kind of a weird 3-wave move. I see a little bit more down to come in that wave, but then maybe up in 3 waves like so. And this would be a corrective wave, okay, followed by a dump there, and that would be 3 waves. Okay. The other possibility is that this is a 1-2, 1-2 to the downside, and we're about to get something very, very large back down here. Where we get a 3-wave move, but right now this 3-wave shape right there is yelling at us, hey, we may be very corrective in nature, and there's more down to come. I don't know what would precipitate that, whether it's the recall on the Tesla cars, or some failure in Tesla or whatever. But we have a 5-wave shape to the upside. You can see very clearly on the chart. You got a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. And then we got a WXY that it came down. WXY, Okay, but what I'm thinking is that this is a three wave move. This is an X wave, and now we're going to get a W, X, and a Y as well. Back down to these original prices here before they end up going parabolic later on. Okay, so that move to the upside might come. So again, that just like the NASDAQ, we're looking for that down move. Just like in Nvidia, we're looking for that down move. Tesla, we are also looking for a down move here before we get any kind of rally to it. So anyway, that's wave structure for you. That's what the wave structure is saying to me at this moment. Now, as the wave develops next week, we'll look at it again, and we'll say, hey, how has the wave developed? Are there any more clues to the chart that might indicate more precisely where price might be going? Right now, it's kind of an open book here, and it's kind of a hard book to interpret there, but again, the most key element on the chart is this three-wave move right there. That is three waves. It points to another low later. Now that low can be made any number of ways, and that's the hard part of guessing, how that's going to be made. But nevertheless, a low is coming eventually, in my opinion. The only caveat to that is that this three waves could be part of some kind of a diagonal of some kind, where you have three up, three down, three up, three down, three up, some kind of diagonal like that. That's the only way it gets bullish, this being three waves. Okay, I'm not seeing that coming, but market can do whatever it wants to do. So we just look at the wave structure and say, okay, what could happen based on here? Then we look at the overall market scenarios and say, okay, what's most likely, considered all the charts. Okay. With gold, I'm very bullish on gold, guys, and I see a potential parabolic wave getting ready to develop here. In other words, I'm seeing this as a big as gold. I've seen this as a big 1 and a 2, and this is another 1 and a 2. And so I'm expecting this to start getting more parabolic and going straight up. I can see 6,000 on the horizon in the next couple of years, potentially, $6,000 in gold. And again, that would be coinciding with the death of a dollar, the U.S. dollar. That would also be coinciding with stock market crashes as well, extensive crashes that I expect to see. So if those crashes to the markets are coming, people are going to be stepping out of traditional markets and into markets or commodities that are going to preserve their income, like gold and silver and property and things of that nature. So as we are in an unprecedented time in history where we're transitioning to a digital economy, where the Federal Reserve and global banks are taking us to CBDCs, which are central bank digital currencies, we live in uncertain times, and these markets are pumping, and they're pumping really in a way that doesn't really even make sense. It really doesn't make a lot of sense. But to me, when markets pump and they don't make sense why they're pumping like they are, it points to manipulation and the big boys who really have the money manipulating markets. And if they're manipulating them up, you know that they're going to take their profits and manipulate them down as well. And they'll do it in a way that's very fast and furious and not allow other people to be able to take their profits as well. So I think that's kind of what's coming to the markets here, is there is a crash coming, and gold is pointing to the upside, in my opinion, while the S&P and the NASDAQ are pointing. There are imminent moves to the downside at any time, in the near weeks to months. So that's the way I'm looking at the traditional markets, guys. As data comes in, as weekly price action happens, it's nearly impossible to call tops and bottoms, but we just know that we are playing around key areas that can be tops, and the divergences and the overbought nature of the NDX, the S&P, Nvidia, Tesla. Tesla's a different chart, but anyway, all these charts are saying, hey, it's time to come down. It's time to begin taking profit. So be careful. In the very near future, there may be some profit taking that drives price to the downside. Things don't go up forever. All right, guys, there's my take on those charts. Hope that helps you. Remember, it's not financial advice. It's just the way I think about the markets, the way I look at wave structure. At the end of the day, my interpretation of the waves may be incorrect, but I do the best I can to stay as unbiased as I can. With that said, have a fantastic day. Like and subscribe and share the love. And if you want to learn how to look at the market through an Elliott Wave perspective and be a part of an awesome trading group, the Jim of All Trades Discord is an amazing place to be. I would invite you to come. Until then, we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.